Hey guys, Monk52 here of course. Today we're looking at Azur, Chapayev, the boat, and indeed the commander for this one. So the boat itself has improved HE alpha at reduction of fire chance and reduced AP alpha again, all for this bonus HE fire chance. HE alpha damage, not fire chance, that's been reduced. So it's interesting to see. So we've done an interesting build here. First module, sorry, is main battery mod 2 will help with the churchverse quite a bit. Is Fry Glacier the turning. You could go wing system, but I think main battery is just a little bit better in this situation. Propulsion mod is very valuable, generally more valuable than steering gears. Steering gears in the third slot kind of counters the idea of why put steering god in the second slot. And because of the concealment of Russian cruisers, and generally you don't really build for concealment, main battery mod 3 is your better option. If you're feeling more risky, you're worried about this build, then you could probably run gunfire control mod instead of main battery, just for a little bit more safety, even running legendary mod. In terms of the armor, it's coded in 26, which is typical light cruiser sort of fashion. Your upper deck plating, is 30mm, which means at range you can bounce 16-inch shells, not Georgia or not Republic. Of course, Musashi as well, and Yamato, that should go without saying though. Citadel is quite large, superstructure is fairly high, but you can use a 100mm Citadel belt to angle as best you can when the situation gets rough, but I wouldn't rely on it unless you absolutely need to. Cool thing about Chapayev here, which we go over armor real quick, is this Azur Chapayev has 37mm of base pen, so you do not need to spec EOP. Really strong. The only indication we have is this quick overview, which is Superior HE Pen, and a quick mention in the live stream, but no mention in patch notes. Commander of choice is of course Azur Chapayev, with her skill that helps you get more incapacitations, mostly on destroyers as your advantage there. HE fire chance, as we'll see later, is not really important, so beyond range, intuitive is probably the best skill in slot there. Sponge or Malicious if you're feeling a bit risky, for you want to be more agile or agility based focus, and then a special skill here which gives you a 10% buff at the current rank and a massive reduction in fire chance. Honestly, I think leveling her just to like 14-2 and no more is pretty solid. I wouldn't level her anymore unless you are absolutely happy you don't want any fires or any chance of it. Actually quite a good skill. If you build into it here, you can do really well. Obviously you don't want to put in EOP because it kind of ruins the purpose of the HE damage alpha build. You run fully packed for more heals, more radar, more sonar, and you actually run again Azur in New Jersey, because any shell that is past 10km and hits deals 5% more damage, and we've got Andre Rue for increased HE shell damage for another potentially 5%. So if you haven't maxed out, I've done the calculation, your HE per salvo hits harder than Alaska HE, and Alaska's legendary tier, this is a tier 7. Free to play option would be Kutuzov here, with just a range, kind of agility focused kite run away sort of build. You swap out either Norman Scott or Philip Vian for Andre Rue to get your HE damage up a bit more, because really what you're doing with this is you're crapping on people with essentially the Russian version of SAP. Except it doesn't saturate very quickly because it is HE. So it's quite crazy, honestly, really crazy. So without much further ado, let's get into a battle and take a look how this thing goes. Now, in this fight and in this ship right now, because of the way it's built, it's really weird. You're essentially just firing nothing but HE. You really don't have to think about it really much. You just chill at a decent range, and you just fire nothing but HE at targets and get monster pens and monster damage. It's a very easy to play cruiser, assuming you don't get hit. Again, you don't get hit, but you're playing at such far ranges with the Russian cruisers that dodging shells is relatively easy, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But again, that's why you have the rudder mod in and the prop mod to help you duke the shells. If you're not feeling comfortable with full HE build, you can run in more like rudder shift builds or a different sort of inspiration to help you duke the shells and dodge the shells more often. But yeah, the HE alpha of this thing is kind of insane. As I said before with the Alaska example, you have harder in Alaska. If you fully max out everything, it's pretty insane. That is the stock Alaska too, you know, still, but I mean, you're heading harder than Alaska does every 7.5 seconds, whereas Alaska's got like a 14-second plus reload, 15 seconds, so you're heading harder and you're firing nearly more than twice as fast. It's kind of insane. The damage you can pump out of this thing is insane, it really is. And you're painting 37 millimeters, so if you did put on BOP, you could put in 50, and I don't think it's worth it though, but you never know. You're painting everything basically. You're getting monster paints, particularly at tier 7, so you're like Kansas, Vanguard. You're doing extreme damage. You can see here, even the cruisers are just absolutely butchering them. I did test out the AP, and it's kind of lackluster. I don't know what they've done. I think they've nerfed the AP pen, but they didn't really say it, and I don't know. Normally I would say it's stuff. Considering they left out the special pen in the patch notes, I really don't know what they've done with the ship. Very good. Honestly, sadly, don't recommend using it. Just stick to HE and you'll do more damage. If the build is really good to stick, you do more HE damage than AP damage per Citadel. If you go Citadel with HE, again, unlikely, but yeah, you can you can actually Citadel with more. The HE pen does more than AP pens. So you can as much as you can, and as long as you're staying at reasonable range, you can absolutely just melt them. We're not getting too many hits there, but you can see you've already got 7,000 damage with so few shell hits. It's apologies, I'm not really too focused in the game here. I can't really see too much because of the way there's recording set up until I get a new system out place. You're gonna have to bear with me here, guys. I'm hopefully you can't hear any background noise. Okay, but now that I've said it, you're probably focusing on it, aren't you? Yeah. Anyway. We're going to be kiting here using island cover, because again, from this extreme range, anything can shoot over islands, including Russian cruisers, and you can do some pretty sizable damage as well. So yeah, it's just a straight damage. You can push in earlier on, later on, but early on probably just not going to work. One thing if I get to choose it, I don't get to show an example in this game, but you can absolutely melt DDs. 7, 5k salvos, 4k salvos with just 2 or 3 shell hits. You can easily death strike destroyers chunky HE salvo because the HE hits so hard. This was a commander that I thought was kind of bad in the last game for the aesthetics, but honestly, she's actually pretty bonkers. I feel HE build is interesting. It's just straight damage. And if you level them, obviously you're probably not going to get any fires. I think I do get some fires, but again, shells that land, it's almost nothing. You're essentially reducing your fire chance to almost 0 in exchange for damage, which is really what makes the Weimar and the mains really strong because of their inbuilt quarter tanks on top of getting fires. But this thing is just even higher HE alpha, because the German HE alpha is limited despite being quarter pen. That's the trade-off, is you have great pen for the German HE, but you have really low alpha. This has really good pen and really good alpha, so it's kind of you get that amazing punchy HE, but obviously you lose out on fire chance, which isn't really a big deal because when you're firing so quickly, 12 guns every 7-ish seconds, it really doesn't matter. On your targets, even with the abnormal fire chance, even though it's rubbish, you might still get 1 fire depending on how much you've leveled the command. You don't even need to use actually in Chapayev. Just the extra 10% gives you a good buff to your HE, and as well the module can really work well when you're fighting other cruisers. You can break their guns, you can hit DDs and just break all their modules. It does help out quite a bit, I think. It's actually good for inspirations, particularly on DD versus DD fights. So definitely worth considering. Really interesting. So we're just farming the crap out of the enemy team here. And we're just playing it smart, we're playing it very carefully. Fortunately, this was a really good game for us. But if it was a bit riskier game, I've still had some pretty monster results. Cruisers. It's essentially you're firing SAP, but you don't have to worry about pen angles at all. It's kind of stronger than SAP, which is kind of disgusting. Imagine you're playing a Malfi, but you don't get any bounces for SAP, you're just getting constant pen. Kind of what it feels like. I don't get the same level of pen as a SAP, but the fact that you don't have to worry about angle whatsoever is kind of bonus too. You know, so you also can get a chance to get a again, lower chance, almost 0%, it's like 1 point something, but yeah, it's kind of insane. you can see the damage is raking up. We've got like 50k, 40k now, 40 something, 40 something, I think 49, something like that with my guards. But the damage you do is just insane, and honestly, it's kind of just mad. Anyway, I've been trying to do more videos like this, by the way, while we've got a wee bit of a lull period in the game here. I do hope that we can get some more videos out. The system software that I'm using to record is just not working for me right now, so I've been really stuck making videos, and I've got a lot of backlog. So if you guys want to see older ships that are obviously do let me know in the comments below. Try and get the comments guys, try and like the video. It really does. I need to get myself back going on YouTube. We're still going to make, the plan is to break 2k this year. Last year, we're going to do this year. It's going to happen, whether I'm going to fight for it. I should get this video. At the minute, every Thursday, and if I don't do it Thursday, I'll probably do it Friday or Saturday if I'm unavailable. Well, but yeah, as you can see, just the absolute carnage of this HE. Obviously, you can't overpower it, so you just try the. You can only shatter as well. Obviously, you've got the torpedoes with Chapayev, only 4k aim, which is really just meant for personal defense and YOLOing situations when you can push forward in later games. As you can see, I'm progressively getting closer and closer to the objectives. That's something cruiser players need to do more. You start off far back, you play it safe, and then the more the match progresses, the stronger you become, because you've got more health and your fighting ships are weaker. As you can see, we've won quite heavily on our side. I would say it does help doing over, 83,000 and getting 150 shell hits. Only 3 fires, as you can see, which again is pretty awful for fire chances, but they defended, and our team was doing quite well here. It's just the raw output you can do. Just imagine this was just imagine it was a game where I could farm even longer. The damage numbers you can back up with this. This was my first game. This build, I thought we'd give it a go. And we are just doing some monster damage all across the board. Just watch how many games we get and like loot. It is insane, pretty much. And this is where it gets a little bit hairy. I believe the Plymouth Navy team are really trying to win this, and he's doing some really good work. I didn't pay too much attention to him during the game. It just wasn't my priority at the time. He wasn't shooting at me, he wasn't shooting at destroyers, as far as I know. Again, Chapayev, when you're playing far back, you can't play the objective as much as you can, but you can do some crazy stuff. You obviously do have the radar, which, is very useful. It does help you split do some cover, just obliterate them with the monster punchy HE. But as you can see, fighting other cruisers is really good. Obviously, you're going to kill a battleship immediately. You need time to farm, you need time to walk them down. But yeah, Chapayev and all Russian cruisers, if you're not interested, if you're unfamiliar, shall I say, to play the Chapayev already, you need to play it very far back at range. You need to be very careful about it. Very squishy, very easy kill, especially broadside. You need to play it carefully. But when you're kiting, you're firing HE, you're pumping out really fast shells that are really flat trajectories, really easy to hit. Fast shells, good hits, good accuracy, and you've got a pretty decent, well, again, I would say decent fire chance, but with this Azur lane build, with the Chapayev, we obviously do not have that, but we have monster HE that is better than Mogami, because you have essentially Mogami levels of HE, a 7-second reload, and that's Mogami's a heavy cruiser. You basically turn yourself a heavy cruiser of light cruiser reload with the HE. It's kind of bonkers. Obviously, the fires is a big limiting potential. I would say that makes it more balanced, but it still is an incredibly strong build here. This is essentially what SAP is on steroids when it comes to SAP on steroids, is what I would call it. The HE build you can put on Azur and Chapayev, really. And you can see we're fighting other cruisers here. The best thing for us to do is angular armor. I don't know what build you have, it doesn't really matter. You can't aim 100% run HE, it's just not going to happen. So, I mean, unless you're a battleship, but, cruisers are just not going to do that. So, yeah, we can angle use our armor build to bounce to shatter the HE and reduce the damage you take. Because again, we all know about HE pen damage being more lethal than fire, potentially. Not always. Probably fires are pretty damaging for a cruiser situation. Just so much more value. You see here, we are on a fire. We damage control the first one, I think, and then we are on double fire soon, or single fire. Depending on the features of who's also firing HE back. Obviously, he's getting fires, and we're just straight up not. But it doesn't matter because we have such high value HE pens that we're just absolutely shredding him. At some point, I believe he will switch to A to AP. Okay, I would love to do it as well, but it just doesn't work. I think I fire, or think about firing one star of AP. Again, I tested this in the eye. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Honestly, I couldn't even sit at a club. Earlier on as well, one of the games. It's weird. I don't know what they've done with the AP pen. I don't know. Again, they really did highlight attachments. I think it's incredibly weird. You're just missing out because people are not going to get this shit because they don't know it has inbuilt pen, which is insane. Like, you'd think you'd be happy with 32 because 152s generally, with a 1.6 rule, will pen 25 millimeters because of the new HE rework. For some reason, this pen's 37, which means it's quarter pen, but with the takeaway 1 rule. So it's really weird, really confusing in terms of what's going on with these builds, on these quotes. But yeah, 150k, high caliber, and I think about 2.8k base. Yeah, something 2.7, 2.8, something in your region. Pretty monster game, honestly, for the first game, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and hope the audio's been okay. If you help out with the video, and see you next time. Bye for now.